Gage's question is up next. It says, I am new to the FOO and was wondering if during transitory phases of life, is it okay to back off the 25% rule in order to cash flow big changes, such as house renovations? What do you think?
Well, I don't mean to laugh, but what if our answer was no? Like, hey, no, you know what? No.
Can't do it.
You have to stick to you have to save 25% of your gross
Every
income
day.
no matter what. Now, obviously, we know that life happens. I mean, part of the joy in the financial journey is not the destination, is not the end point, is not crossing the finish line. It's actually the journey to get there. It's the life we get to live while we are living life to get to the life that we want to live. It's a beautiful thing, but sometimes it gets turbulent. We talk all the time on this show about what we call the messy middle, that stage of life where you're being pulled in 1,000 different directions by 1,000 different things. And it's so easy for your financial life to fall on the back burner. And so your question isn't really, okay, is it okay for me to ignore it and let it fall on the back burner? But is it okay if other things take priority, like saving for home repair, or maybe saving for a remodel, or maybe saving for that down payment? And our stance, our argument is going to be, yes, it's okay, but you have to understand the opportunity cost of the decisions that you're making. Now, let's say the home remodel, for example. Suppose your home needs some sort of adjustment, some sort of change, some sort of improvement that's really going to add to the standard of living for you and your family, and it's justifiable. It's not something that's purely cosmetic, like it's something that's going to actually make the house you live in more useful. That's okay. That's a fine goal to pursue. But if you're going to take time off of saving, if you're going to back down savings, you have to have the mutant mindset to say, okay, I'm going to do this. It's going to be for a season. How quickly can I get back to building wealth? How quickly can I get back to my 25% savings goal? And however much time that takes, and however far off of my trajectory that puts me, is this thing that I'm pursuing, is this goal that I'm working towards, is it justifiable? If the answer is yes, it makes sense, it's something I want to do, then by all means, yes, it's okay to back down. If the answer is, oh man, maybe I really don't want to save for that luxury car, or maybe I really don't need to do that crazy European vacation this year, then maybe you want to reassess and reevaluate if you should actually go about making that decision.
Look, life is complicated. It's hard. There's going to be obstacles. I mean, this is the part. That's why I love being an optimist, is that even with all the negative things that come with life, all the struggles, ultimately, there's so much joy that can come from it. There's a lot of good stuff, but it is one of those things when you're doing something. I try to give you the path, the straight and narrow path, so you can optimize your financial journey, and that's what the financial order of operations is designed to do. But it is also flexible enough to know that things don't go always as planned. And you will have to, unfortunately, deal with dangerous decisions and even dangerous tools. And it's pretty commonplace. I talk about it all the time. I consider debt to be one of those dangerous tools.
Sure.
You know, I say anytime you use debt, it's chainsaw dangerous. You know, if you're using it not scared, you're doing it wrong. But that doesn't mean you avoid debt altogether. It just means that while you're doing it, you're respecting it, you're making sure that all the safety protocols are being enforced. Well, it's kind of the same thing whenever you're making a dangerous decision of veering off the well-worn path of the financial order of operations, is because maybe it is like that first house purchase, or you know, you have your second child a little sooner than you anticipated, or a job change happens when you got laid off or something. There are going to be things. That's the curious way that life works for you. That these decisions just will come upon you, but you need to make sure that you feel the timeliness to get back on track, because that bridge of kind of going in a different direction than the financial order of operations, you want it to be a short bridge, because here's the good news with short bridges: they don't attract the trolls of life. Whereas if you build too long of a bridge, that's what happens when people get into debt and they do credit cards. That bridge gets so long that all these trolls out there of life are like, you know what? That's where I need to go take up shop. And so you'll see people make a bad decision, and that bridge just goes, instead of being a short term just over a little tiny ditch, to get to the next gross point to start building their financial order of operations and reach success, it just starts going to nowhere, and more trolls and more obstacles start building in your future. So I'm okay, Gage, if you vary from the course, but just make sure you don't go so far away so you end up like one of those scary Appalachian Trail stories where somebody, went off the path to go use the restroom, and then their body's found like 6 months later because they just got so far off the path. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I'm tracking.
Well-worn path of the financial order of operations is your friend. Respect it, and make sure you just any type of variations, you're coming back and you feel that clock is going to buzz on you at any point in time with either bad stuff happening, and if you're just not prepared, it can really devastate your financial life. So be cautious.
Well, we talk all the time, Brian, about how, especially when you're young, wasting time is way more expensive than wasting money. Not utilizing your time well. So I'm not saying, Gage, that if you do this and you do take some time off of saving about the savings, you might not be wasting it. But if you can minimize that, if you can shorten that bridge, there's a really good chance you're going to set yourself up for future financial success, because time for young folks is so valuable. So make sure you treat it accordingly.